You're watching Friggin' Fabulous Video.
We're here at the Spring Lounge, Spring Street in downtown Manhattan. And today I have the distinct pleasure of being with Scott Vaccaro from Captain Lawrence Brewing Company. We're having a big event and barbecue here. Scott, welcome.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
And you're the owner, brewmaster, and the captain at Captain Lawrence. Let's go back to the beginning. Tell me how you got into brewing. I know you were pretty young.
Yeah, I very, kind of random twist of fate. Went over to my friend's house, 17 years old, my junior year in high school. Went over to his house after school one day. His dad was making beer on the stove at home, and thought it looked, like a really cool thing to do. And I asked him if he'd show me how to do it. And he said, "All right, go ask your parents. If they say yes, I'll show you how to make beer." And I went to ask my parents, and they clearly weren't paying attention. And they said, "Sure, go learn how to make beer." And that was kind of changed my whole life.
Very nice. And over the years, the Captain Lawrence Brewery, which is in Pleasantville, New York, has sort of become a family affair. Tell me about that.
Well, starting out, it was pretty much being my dream from the beginning. I needed a lot of help from my parents because I didn't have a lot of resources to draw. So from day one, my parents were working in the tasting room. My cousin's our sales guy. So, without the help of my parents, this never would have happened. So I owe them a lot.
Not a bad kind of family business.
No.
And tell me a little bit more about the tours and the tastings you have at the brewery.
Pretty low key. Very mellow. We're open every Friday, 4 to 7, and Saturday, 12 to 6, and we offer free samples. And then Saturday, we do the tours every hour, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take you through the whole brewery, the whole brewing process, from grain to the glass. And, the best part about it is you get to drink for free the whole afternoon.
It's not a bad deal at all.
No.
And tell me about some of your other brews that maybe you don't brew as often. I know you have some other things that you work on that aren't necessarily distributed, widely in the city.
Well, some of the sour beers that we do, it's kind of a passion and a love of mine. Some of the oak age stuff, real small scale stuff. If you think about it, we have a sour peach ale that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. We only made 2 oak barrels worth, 120 gallons. It's gave us 700 bottles of beer. And it's something that takes a lot of time. It took over 1.5 years to make. Very small scale because we just don't have the room for that many oak barrels. And,
right.
You're taking a risk when you're making something sour. And, that's the stuff that really, excites me. I love the draft beers that we make, our everyday beers. The pale ale I drink of more than anything else we make.
Sure.
But those are the beers that I really have a good time making. We do quite a few of them throughout the year. Very small. You got to come up to the brewery, and you got to come see us if you want to get them.
Very nice. And if you're in the United States of America, what state could you go? Where could you get Captain Lawrence beer?
We're exclusively in the New York Metro. Right. You can't even get the beer in the whole state of Connecticut, New York, or New Jersey. We're literally in the 14 counties surrounding Manhattan, 2 counties in Connecticut, and a little bit in Jersey. So we're very, very close in our very tight distribution area.
Well, just so you know, I have a good friend from Seattle, and every time she comes here, she always wants to smuggle back bottles or growlers of your beer because they love it out there too.
It's great to hear.
Yeah. But in any case, let's kind of talk about the relationship you have with places like the Spring Lounge and the Blind Tiger. How have you seen a change in the bars in Manhattan? Because I remember there was a time when you really couldn't get anything better than say, a Budweiser in most bars around here.
Well, the Blind Tiger was, before we even opened, I had been to the Blind Tiger, and I knew the Blind Tiger, and I wanted to be a part of what the Blind Tiger, portrayed. This craft beer mecca, where there was always good beer on tap, and I figured, all right, if I can get into, if I could have my beer poured on tap at the Blind Tiger, I made it. And, from day one, it was places like the Tiger and the Spring Lounge and the Gate in Brooklyn, who have really just kind of embraced us and allowed us to kind of get a little bit of a footing in the city. And what I have noticed, though, in the past 2 years is that a lot more places that you'd never think that would pour craft beer have started calling up and asking where they can get the beer from and taking an interest in it. And I think it's due to the work that these other bars have put in, to kind of grow these craft brands to the point where, all right, all of a sudden people want local. And local, we're very fortunate to be local to the largest market in the world, or in the country. New York City is the beer market.
Pretty much.
A lot of people, a lot of beer gets drank here. So we're very fortunate, and we continue to grow. This is our biggest market, and we excited to be here.
James O'Brien, head chef from the Blind Tiger, made all the food, and I can attest to the fact that it's amazing. James, let's talk about the food.
Well, the one thing about the food, this is our first collaboration between the Spring Street and the Blind Tiger. Same ownership. We wanted to make something that was really, really, really representative of what we do at the Blind Tiger, and also something that represented a barbecue and just a fun end of summer kind of thing. It's one of those events that represents what we do as a company. And I just think that our consideration for the experience of coming into our bars and differentiates us from the pack. We love the people that come here. I'm very happy with the way it turned out.
Oh, you did a great job, and that's one of the things about bars like this. No, you did an amazing job. And I got to say one thing, because I hang out at the Blind Tiger all the time, the food there is always amazing. It's impeccable. I mean, and people are always surprised when they come in there, because they look at the menu and they're like, is this good? And then they have it, and even like tourists that come in there are like, oh my God, this food is just unbelievable. And that's because we have people like you back there, chefs like you back there cooking.
But it really comes down to the management and the ownership of both operations. Brian, Dave, Timmy, and Alan are great guys. And, when we had the food concept from the beginning, we try to make it as reasonable as we could.
Exactly. It looks like a bunch of people want to get on the food line.
Absolutely.
So
I think we have to move out of the way.
But Spring Lounge, Blind Tiger, great places. Come drink, eat, and have like the best of Manhattan.